How is it going, guys? Hope I'm back to my regular schedule this week. But so I'm trying hard amidst all the craziness that's ensuing here in New Zealand as well. We're going on complete lockdown tomorrow, so trying to be there for you. But I'm sorry if I can't all the time. And as I told you guys yesterday, I'm not gonna trade the open for a while just because of the daylight savings and all that stuff. It's just going to work out better for me if I am around for the close and trade the overnight, because there is so much volatility at the moment that overnight is making me more than enough money. I think I scalped about 1,000 points in the last week and a half, so why would I have to do anything else? Let's look at the market. I guess it's a good sign that we actually opened inside the expected move. Not like last week where we actually already opened outside the expected move, which was completely insane. So I guess that's a good sign. Just with looking at the SPX here, and if we go back to the ES with all the levels that we have, or that I have, started drawing in for myself as well. We see that we've bounced off the 2200 today. I mean, First we had a 150 point rally in what's that, half an hour, and then we came all the way back in the following hour, so which is insane. When I woke up and I saw it, I was like, holy shit. But well, the thing that I'm just noticing is that we tried to get back over the 2317 and to a lesser extent the 2251-71 kind of area here, which is a bit of a zone. But we didn't. So now in after hours we are slowly inching back up. But we will see how the 2317 reacts. But I'm not sure. This wasn't really like that flush blow off that I kind of wanted to see. So I would still be careful on the long side for now, until we really see like a proper reversal and like the hold of a proper level for a few days, because so far we haven't really held any higher lows. All of this has already been lower lows, and then we tried back over and we failed, and I tried again and we failed, and so perhaps this is just another one of those bounces until we see like that final flush to 2100, or let's see what's below, 2000, right, 1984, that kind of level, which is a huge level, and I'm sure there's going to be buyers there, at least for a short-term bounce. But that's what I see in the market. Gold had a huge bounce today. Oh man, look how they are buying it back up. Even that's still inside the market hours. So yeah, it's crazy. We saw this actually in the miners a few days ago, and when you look how that developed, it's going to be interesting to see how that is going to go as well, because it's just tightening the range, and to me this is looking bearish. But on the other hand, I've listened to an analyst, or like an economist yesterday, and what he said is this is basically just liquidation, as in people were so scared that they got out of everything. That's why everything got correlated. That's why the bonds sold off. That's why gold sold off. That's why the market, alongside with the market. And perhaps, this is kind of signaling now that people are getting back at least into safe haven assets, preparing for more downside in the market. That's what this would probably signal. But hey, you know what? I'm happy. I got long gold somewhere in here. I think I told you guys in chat. So this is slowly starting to work out. I definitely want to see, that 1650 area again, which might be optimistic. But on the other hand, hey, we've seen crazier things in the last few weeks. So we will see. I'm trying to take a look at other markets or other indexes as well here. And what we see here is that the NASDAQ is trying to reclaim the lower Celt again. and it's also bounced off a pretty significant level, like the 200 SMA on the weekly, and this kind of support zone here that we've built 2017 2018 kind of years. So I mean, you know, that I think the weekly 200 is probably a big level, where I mean we are seeing that bounce now. So what we now want to see is for it to open over that lower celt, and then we would target the 14 and the middle, which would coincide nicely with some of the levels that we have here on the monthly, in the 8,000 area and 7,600 kind of area, to see what it wants to do there. But honestly, like from an economic point of view, the more I hear, the more I read, I am getting quite convinced that we are not done yet. So yeah, like this might just be an opportunity to get out of any longs that you have left a bit longer term, and perhaps get into a few more shorts. As I said yesterday, and I don't want to contradict what Addicted is saying too much, because he's the master of the index, but I really don't see us making new highs by the end of the year. But hey, you never know. Anyway, the one thing that's definitely working now is finally volatility is coming out. So we've seen, you know, like the first, I think, dump last week. From what I heard, it was just this one fund in Chicago who was hugely exposed to volatility that they had to liquidate. So some of it was probably that. But then now we are actually seeing volatility coming in. We see it in the VVIX as well. We are slowly coming in, made a higher low here, lower high. I mean, we are still in the crazy zone. But still, we might see just a little bit of, you know, like volatility premium coming in, and perhaps, you know, like this is going to make it easier for some of you to, you know, trade some of those options again, because it's been expensive. So yeah, that's just, you know, like my kind of, and of course, you know, like volatility coming out, that doesn't mean that the market's recovering. It just means that it's calming down a little bit, you know, like the insanity is gonna dissipate a little bit in the next few days, hopefully, and then we'll see what's gonna go next. But I don't think we are gonna see new highs anytime soon. It's just that the volatility is coming out. Regarding, you know, individual stocks, I have exactly 3 on my list here, and that's something I'm gonna continue doing as well at the moment, until, you know, like we you know, like find a little bit of direction here, because as you saw with the stuff that I talked about yesterday, you know, some of it worked perfectly, some of it didn't, and it's just with this craziness, it's hard to trade our system with indicators. You gotta trade the levels, and that's what Nikki keeps preaching as well, and that's what I'm gonna keep saying as well. But just looking at this stuff real quick, someone asked me about Roku. So what I'm seeing here, if I want to combine the indicator and the level, which would probably be like, you know, like a kind of prudent thing to do, then what I see is a reclaim of the 14 for the first time since this whole madness started, which usually in any other environment means that we're going to see the 30, retest the 30. So with an expected you know, short-term bounce in the market as well, I think if this opens up over 90 tomorrow, you could probably take this as a long into the middle celt, or perhaps into the 100. I think I said it in chat as well today, that this might want to retest the 100 first, which is a big level, and is also, you know, like a bit of not just the psychological level, but also a resistance level here. So you could either take that long or wait for it to happen and then take a short here for more downside. That's what I would say in this one. And Lulu, that's just, you know, again, don't rely on the most of all, I have to clear these drawings. This is like all over the place, and it's not really making much sense at the moment. So let's draw a few levels together. We have this, we've got this is rudimentary. Like I would probably go in and refine these at a later point, or like if I really wanted to drill down, see like this consolidating. If you look at the weekly, you see like a level here, and then we could go into the daily as well. But just from the weekly levels, we are right into this weekly resistance again here, which would coincide nicely with a 14 MA, like the first 14 MA test after the crossover. So with Lulu, I'm not sure what their supply line is, and whether, I'm assuming they have a lot of business in China. So you know, with all of that, I could assume that this might want to sell off a little bit more before earnings. Just, you know, at the moment everyone is taking their risk off. So earnings is on the 26th, so which is, let me look that up, that is Thursday. So I think this is a decent probability short. If this opens under the 14, or even better, it opens under the lower Celt, where if you get some kind of morning spike, short this. I would probably short this and aim for this gap fill at least at 155. And if you have any powder left, then you could just let it roll, let it run, and see how far this gets. And lastly, TSN. This one popped up on my scan for another 14 MA reclaim, and this is just what this did. Reclaimed the lower Celt, tested the middle Celt, tested the lower Celt, held, and now reclaimed the 14 MA. So we would probably expect a move up into the 30. But let's look at some of the levels as well, because as I said, a lot of it is just very technical at the moment. We have a level in this area here, 57. We have a level in 63. You know what, this is you know, would coincide quite nicely. So if we open up over 57, you could probably try and take along into the 60. Well, you know what, 3 points is pretty freaking big already. You know, into the 60, hold more into 63, and hold a flyer into the lower into the 30 MA. I think that could be a decent long from here. But then, you know, guys, just stay diligent. Look at what we have here, and be aware of what stuff like this means for the economy. Like, the longer we stay in lockdown, the more pressure is there on the economy, the less people are going to have jobs. And you know, I've heard some pretty bad outlooks recently. On one hand, of course, it's panic. Everyone's panicking right now, and everyone is assuming the worst. And as we all know, as options traders, volatility or fear is always overstated. So I'm not gonna completely believe the doom and gloom and, you know, depression and stuff like that just yet, but we should prepare for more downside. That's what I definitely believe. So for now, guys, I think that's it. I'll see you guys tomorrow. If you found some value in this video, please like the video. If you have comments, like if you see things differently than me on the economy, on certain stocks, I would love to hear them in the comment section. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe, and I will talk to you when I'm back up. Have a good one, guys.